It's the premier show for all things of football. On your far left there, he's a winger these days. Promotional manager, Bola, right in the middle is, of course, the coach, Intermission, who's going to be, talking these matches. And on the far end, you saw him. He's going to be very important. We're talking about the coach, of course, the referee, rather. VAR. Iyona noma kuyona siboneke amathini amaningi ku CAF Champions League ekhuluma na ku Confederation Cup nge-VAR so bese yakubona impela ngamehlo nawa athe ntshi. Phumuzo, wrap the weekend for me.
I think an awesome performance by Orlando Pirates. I think
of course.
Business, they're in the last four. I thought that they really kept their nerve. They didn't play to the occasion, they played the game. While I felt that on the other side, Mamelodi Sundowns played the occasion, they didn't play the game. And I thought that when you're looking at it, also it's hotting up in the relegation zone, which is going to be very important.
And then women's football, we saw it come back this weekend.
It was really exhilarating for us because we had a double header, and maybe this was on a triple header. So people must tune in at home because ninga sigleta about women's football.
Well, let's go into the business of the day. The biggest story in football, namhlanje, Khuluko Chobejane has not been fired from Baroka. He's been demoted, nearly taken back to where he came from in the MDC team of Baroka here. Khuluko Chobejane is now the 5th coach in the last month to get, fired from the DSTV Premiership at least, not within the Baroka ranks. So we've seen him now swap places with his assistant, Vincent Kobola, who takes over for the last 4 games. Let's hear from Khuluko Chobejane here. This was immediately after the game where he lost to Swallows 3-2 after having led 2-0.
Technically, as the technical team, what did you try to do to make sure that you manage the game better?
We are outside. Can we manage the game from the outside? The one who must manage the game. Guys, we have the ball. We are unable to pass one another. Can we manage the game? We want to kick it forward. We are transiting and then we have to defend. We are just talking. How can we manage the game in that fashion? The one who have to manage the game is the one who's inside. We can screen and screen. We've been screening a lot from first half. Losing the balls, losing passes. So how can you manage the game like that? But players who knows this is the time now, they can't lose the ball. It's better for you to kick him than it's a foul. That's how.
The news coming out of Baroka, what is true and what isn't?
The truth is, Khuluko Chobejane will be coaching MDC as from tomorrow. Has been released his job at the DSTV division.
The 3-2 results where you were leading 2-0 and Swallows came back to win that match 3-2 over the weekend. Is the result that made you realize that Khuluko is not going to be the man to take you through?
Probably we will carry on with him if we win the game yesterday, because we will be out of the position number 16 by now if we win yesterday, and it didn't happen, and we lost where we're supposed to win. That's what our problem was. We're supposed to win 2-0. Second half, that's the winning score.
They're leading by 2-0. They almost certain over 2 points. They lose that game 3-2 against Swallows. You heard what the coaches had to say as well. I can only bark out instructions and shout out, but it's the player's duty to keep the ball, to manage the game.
It has to be consistent. There can't be double standards, because when we are saying the players, you give them 100% information, they take 1%, the rest is up to them how they use it. But at the end of the day, it's them deciding ukuthi 4-4-2 coach ayisipani ithi sebenzise i-3-5-2 yethu esicabanga ukuthi izosebenzela. So manje if ama player ahluleka ukuzenzela ama decision nabo, ngiyazwelana no coach. Because at the end of the day, yiba wa decide ukuthi tempo yabo ithini. Coach can only manage and say, mangifaka iplay so mangenza kanje mangidonsa la. He can back all the instructions he wants. But abadlali nabo kufanele bathathe responsibility of what is happening right now.
Like I said, there's been 5 coaches that have been let go from the DSTV Premiership. We'll get to the other 4. But firstly, let's take a look at the MVP. Because remember, ukuthi nawe unengxenye futhi ke ungakhuluma ngento ezenzakalayo la ku Soccerzone ukuthi hey boy Thandile nazi iphelele sikhethe zintathu Yeah, it is the MVP, 3 of them that we've chosen for this week.
When you're looking at the first one, Richard Ofori plays a very important role. He saves the first penalty, scores the last penalty. When you're looking at Musona, he scores a brace to bring back Swallows to get maximum point in that 6-pointer. So for me, Richard Ofori plays a very important role for Orlando Pirates to be in the last 4. When you're looking at the
penalty.
We say Vili penalty. Le Winnipeg Pirates.
So there it is. You've got Mape Musonda and Richard Ofori. Soccerzone for sure on Twitter. Soccerzone on Facebook and SABC Sport on Instagram. Vote for your MVP of the week. We're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, there's 5 coaches that have been fired. But out of the 5, Stuart Baxter, do you think Kaizer Chiefs are within their rights? Do you think it was a fair, when you look at what he's achieved and what he's done at Kaizer Chiefs, to let him go at this point? When we come back, we'll take a look at Stuart Baxter's tenure at Kaizer Chiefs.
This April, SABC2 encourages you to join us in becoming more environmentally conscious. We all need to play our part to prevent the destruction of our resources. We need to nurture our life-giving rivers like the majestic Zambezi.
What a privilege to follow this river.
Or else riverbeds may crumble as we face a countdown to eternal drought. We need to ensure that our children are educated in the way of conservation.
We're going to follow this river to its very end, to the last drop. Life, wildebeest, impala.
Keep your ear to the ground and listen to the plants as their leaves gently rustle. Even out-of-towners appreciate our precious and pristine oceans.
You know, we'll be the first flugels to set foot on that brilliant blue marble called Earth.
Whoa,
it is blue.
That's because about 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by water.
Then it's a good thing I packed these.
Big up to Mother Nature, y'all, this April on SABC2.
In only his second game in charge, Andre Arendse continued to help SuperSport United consolidate its place in the top 8. Kanti futhi SuperSport iphinde yathola i-clean sheet eyesibili phansi kwakhe u-Arendse. But for Dan's Malisela's boys, it's a matter of 2 points drop and they remain outside the top 8. Life after Stuart Baxter not off to a rosy start for Amakhosi njengoba adliwe ngegoli elodwa eqandeni adliwa yona iStellenbosch FC at Danny Craven Stadium. Udean van Rooyen uyena ozenegoli Stellenbosch. He managed to beat a Chiefs high line and he used his pace effectively to score past Brandon Peterson. Amathuba weKaizer Chiefs wokudlala ku-CAF Champions League ngesizini ezayo engathaya ngokuncipha impela. Amaqembu amabili azama ukuthola aku-top 80. Golden Arrows neSkhukhune United played out to a goalless draw. Womabili lamaqembu athole amathuba kulo mdlalo, but they were unfortunately unable to capitalize. And in the 44th minute, Golden Arrows came very close to finding the opener, but it was not meant to be for the Kaizer inside. With only 4 games to go in the 2021-22 season, KwaZulu-Natal could yet again have another team playing in the CAF Champions League next season. Royal AM are just 4 points clear on the second spot behind Mamelodi Sundowns. Kodwa ke kulo mdlalo ebekhona amathuba amaningi for yona iRoyal AM kanye futhi namaZulu, but they played out to a goalless draw, none of them finding the back of the net. Hayi cha ibhola linzima futhi lizomqeda nya umuntu omdala. Swallows stage a spirited fight back as they came back from 2-0 down to register a 3-2 victory against Baroka FC. It was Bakhaga who drew first blood in the 20th minute, and they were back again. Maqala nje iswombe sesibili baphinda futhi bagadla. uRichard Mbuli wadumisa phakathi elakhe igoli. Hayi inyoni besezisenkingeni ke manje. But some quick substitutions took place and they were rewarded when Mwape Musonda pulled one back in the 62nd minute, and a minute later he was back to complete his brace. The Birds were now flying and unstoppable. The winning goal came just 3 minutes before full time, and it was a beauty of a cross from Saleng, and it was finished off expertly by the well-travelled Nyatama to make it 3-2 in favour of the Birds.
Remarkable comeback there from Swallows. These are the results from the weekend.
Yeah, Andy lalela ngekore kakhulu. It's just that last game because boyithuba lwela ukuthi ubani ozohlala phansi, but I mean kunama clean sheet amaningi kusekugcineni manje like I say le 5 goals oyibona lapha enzathi is because those ones want to make sure none of them get relegated.
First game for Atazwani away from home, but Kaizer Chiefs are defeated. 20th minute goal by Van Rooyen was important. TS Galaxy important points that they are gathering with Maritzburg United.
Kaizer Chiefs losing to a team twice in a season. Royal AM have done that. 2 teams now have done that to Kaizer Chiefs. You're going to have to go back a very long time before you see that. Let's take a look at the bottom of the log. They're Baroka rooted right at the bottom. 20 goal difference is what they've got. 36 goals against them, 18 points only. Can they survive?
Andy. They can if they win the remainder of their games. It's possible.
Mathematically,
ngokwebhola kunzima because neyo edlalwa lapha kuleya team inzima kakhulu because they've been chopping and changing coaches. Ukhuluko comes from a DDC team, now he's in the head coach Zning.
Swallows making their way to 14th there with their victory this weekend. Golden Arrows shut out the top 9, well, the bottom half there. Let's go now into the top 8 and see what's happening in the DSTV Premiership as far as the top half is concerned. Sundowns, I mean, they're cruising. Even when they're not playing, they're still not in danger of perhaps getting anybody disturbing them there. So let's look at the top 2 position perhaps for Muzu.
I need to start zooming in at AmaZulu in position 7. Since the coach has taken over 3 games that they've played, they've won 2, drawn 1. They're yet to concede a goal under Trute, that is AmaZulu. Very impressive, 2 goals that they've scored. So in 3 games, he's gathered 7 points. It's a great start for him.
Kaizer Chiefs, the top 2 position, that's what they're eyeing.
Everybody's eyeing that top 2 position from position 5. And Orlando Pirates won't give up on that CAF spot. Kaizer Chiefs won't because they've been to the final before. You're looking at Royal AM that has got the momentum, but they also still have the net bank to worry about. But it's interesting to see how Mam Kaizer has pushed that team.
Golden Arrows take on Kaizer Chiefs. Orlando Pirates play Chipa United, Mamelodi Sundowns, and Cape Town City. This is the DSTV Premiership, of course, on Wednesday. On Saturday, it is Kaizer Chiefs and Cape Town City that are going to be headed. Now, sathanda ukuthatha amakhamera zethu sizekunina-ke siza ukuthi emqondo wenu ukuphi kanti futhi imicabango yenu ukuphi ngako konke okwehlalayo kwenzeka la ku-DSTV Premiership. Abaningi bebefuna ukukhuluma ngoStuart Baxter, imdedeli Kaizer, yathi cha siyakunika imvumo ukuthi uhambe.
Baxter ukuthi ahambe very good, and apparently Leo stance le ithathwe kahle Kaizer ukuthi akhona ukubambisa
method yaka Baxter beyispana dala ngo 2010 any team beyidlala ku World Cup by then ngithola and bekaphethe abantu bebazidlalela, so he was there ukuthi a direct amajiti ukuthi yenza la
ku CAF usifikise ku final Atazwani. Ever since I step aside izinto zethu azikaze zalo.
There's a problem of management, so until they sort that out, then that's when you will see Chiefs going back to its old glory.
Well, let's take a look at Kaizer Chiefs over the last 7 years since Steve Kompela was there. 17th of June 2015 is when he was put in charge. Pumuzo, talk to me about the breakdown of coaches, the last 5 at Kaizer Chiefs.
I think I'll go to the last one. I'll go to Gevinant. I just feel that Gevinant was not given enough opportunities at Kaizer Chiefs when they let him go. A coach that has got a lot of experience in our local football, having won the league 3 or 4 times with 3 times with Supersport, once with Vets. His experience was key. But the supporters even then had the problem of the style of play that Gevinant had.
Yeah.
But let's not forget one thing. With Gevinant, he couldn't sign players. And if Gevinant did not give opportunity to the likes of Ungobo, who then later went to represent the under-23s at the Olympics, who wouldn't have known Ungobo? Happy Mashiane that played in the final of the Champions League. He was given the opportunity by Gevinant. So Gevinant did not have the opportunity to sign players at Kaizer Chiefs. But still, he unearthed some quality development players like Umashiane and Ungobo that we know today and are household names in South African football.
And the Chiefs way that you talk about, and that term, the Chiefs way, came about when Steve Kompela was there. They said the Chiefs way is coming back. So there's a way that they play football that obviously Solanas, Middendorp, Hunt and Kompela himself couldn't.
Whose way? Is it the badge, Kaizer Chiefs way, or the coaches, the type of players? Remember, style of play, the culture and all of that comes because of the quality of the players you have. That's why Kaizer Chiefs' history is so rich, because of the types of players, the quality players they had. You were that determined the type of football that you play. And those players, were they influencing the Chiefs way? Were they continuing on the Chiefs way? Each Chiefs way, 19 ban, 20 ban. Those are the other questions you need to ask, because also Middendorp had these players also at his disposal. Abanye, they came in, they came out. They didn't like the Chiefs' way that he was pushing, but Tsheba winiliki ngaleyo team.
Nichikosedza vatambi voto nga phathuchezo nange okonosvika ka Kaizer Chiefs ukokono diwana chikotamba chipingani chote defensive midfielder ndi mutambi yana ava ukono uthoma bola bukati akono utamba the Chiefs way nena vanhu kuhamba ngayo mara nichikonoseza nichikosedza Ngobo for example I'm not impressed at where Kaizer Chiefs are playing him. They're confusing him. When Kaizer Chiefs signed Ungobo, he was the defender of the season. He gets to Kaizer Chiefs, he's played as a central midfielder, at times right side of centre back. Now and then he plays as a centre back. And this is a player that we know very well, defender of the season. You should walk into that defense of Kaizer Chiefs, be in the starting lineup, yet to be given an opportunity in his best position at Kaizer Chiefs. That's why we are yet to see the best of Ungobo, the defender.
Perhaps let me go with what Umkakreshi was saying. The Chiefs way. Are we signing the right players to play the Chiefs way?
In King Alaguti, Chiefs way. I don't understand that culture that much to be able to tell you the Chiefs way, guganje. But whenever you're signing players,
so there's no signature that is the Chiefs way.
I don't say there's no signature.
That you know.
I don't know the Chiefs way. You have to profile a couple of players. You go to Escarangobese, the way he used to play at Kaizer Chiefs. Then you go to the current left-footed player in Keegan Dolly. Are they similar type of players, those players that we're speaking about? You're speaking about a Katsande that was let go. Now, when you take out Katsande, you bring in a Patricia Nange. Are they the same type of players? The answer would be no. Patricia Nange is not a hard tackler. He's not somebody that will be robust and win you balls in the air. No, but he's very comfortable on the ball. So those are the type of players that you compare when you're looking at it.
Let's take a look at Stuart Baxter and his stats at Kaizer Chiefs, a 68-year-old man from Britain there, and what he's been able to do out in Scotland. His UEFA Pro license, of course, marks him as one of the highest licensed coaches in this country. Are you happy with that turnaround? Are you happy with that turnover of the games he's played, 25 in total versus the 39? But of course, he was not in chance to win any of those trophies.
Yeah, he was not in charge to win any of those, Andile, umbuzo mkhulu la ukuthi coaches come and go. There's certain players that are always there. They don't move, they're always there. And it's impossible. The 4 coaches that we've seen, the 5th coach now has been sacked. They are all crying about the same thing. the same problems and challenges. We saw Matlip Lapana, the fans saying, management need to do certain things so that a ship runs in a particular way. So that's Ibonele Chiefs way. Any Chiefs way, I'll take you a step back. A Chiefs way or the culture, we call development. So that MDC team, under 17, under 19 teams, those are the ones that will rebuild your culture, because then they grow into a structure. Say Kaizer Chiefs, if you are bringing in certain players, they must complement the structure that is the foundation as corner, Kaizer Chiefs. Because players that come in, they just come in to play. Ekige Ndoli, when I look at him, he's one of those players that could have the Chiefs way, because he keeps the ball. He makes those passes that you want to see. But which other players are there to complement him? If you're bringing in all the tall strikers that are in there for a cross to shoot, to just head in and go, the other season, Bebati Kokota Piano, Bebal Chableli Kokota Piano. The next season, Abasalfuni Piano. And for me, it means there's a lot of inconsistency in the building of the culture, in the progression of the culture, and in the sustenance of the culture.
Let's go now to the goal that sank him. It was that game against SuperSport. It was unexpected that he would be signed, because when you take a look at where he is in the log, you're thinking, this is a man that's still fighting for the top two. He's got the 2 games that are still hanging on, but nonetheless, he was gone. This is it, Kabuza.
Yeah, you need to look at the positioning of the defenders for Kaizer Chiefs. It's a 3v2. Kaizer Chiefs have the numerical advantage. Lungu brings in the cross, the determination, the hunger of Kabuza in the far post. He puts the ball in the back of the net. Now, after this game, this is where a lot of talk happened to say, Stuart Baxter make a statement to say, if the supporters are saying I'm not good enough, I hear that. But if the management and the players are not happy with me, I would walk. That was the last statement that Stuart Baxter made as the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs. But you are firing a man that is the second best defense in the league. Gosh. In terms of scoring, they are 7th. In terms of the ratio, in terms of the best scoring team, they are 7th. So, Seka Kili Pekto, Stuart Baxter.
And that's where he starts, because even the last time.
It starts at the back. You need to shut the back door. And this is how the next generation of coaches at Kaizer Chiefs, this is how they started.
Gugleshi, talk to me about this. This is now Arthur Zwane coming in, making some changes with that Chiefs team. They go and take on Stellenbosch, who beat them for the 2nd time this season. The changes, are they to prove a point? Are the changes to say these are the deserving players? Are the changes to say let's try different players to get a different results? So I would want to know what coach thinking yake beigupi lab, because probably you bring in change to sweep different. You are staying with certain players to continue. So that you can see progress. What other tactics are they bringing there? Because, Pomozo, if you think about it, if you are bringing in changes and all of that, it's a short period when the coach leaves to new coaches coming in. Remember, new coaches coming in, assistant coach aina voice gakulu njenge head coach. And the head coach is Pegale. These are the 5 that have been fired in the last month in the DSTV Premiership. And when you look at their turnaround, 39 points in 23 games, Stuart Baxter has the best as far as the percentage of wins concerned. But talk to me about the others.
I need to zoom in at Ukholoko Tobejani for me. Ukholoko Tobejani, 14 games that he was in charge of, only managed to win 2 and get 3 draws. So in the 14 games, he manages only to get 9 points. Is that good enough to save a team that is in relegation? The answer would be no. Did they give him enough time? Because they started with the other coach, who's now at the MDC. Now it's Ukholoko Tobejani. Now you also go to a coach like Ukaitano Tembo. I thought Ukaitano Tembo, I feel sorry for him. The reason for that is SuperSport are selling their best players. Grant Kekana, one of the best centre-backs in the PSL, sold to Mamelodi Sundowns. Tebogo Mokoena, coming from the Olympics. He's really that man that SuperSport were looking for to say he will replace Dean Femen and also Uyeyeli Solonyan that had left. But Ukaitano Tembo, I don't blame him. You are selling your best players and you are not signing best players in the league.
And 31 points in 24 games, really, equal to what Lehlogonolo Losema has got there. Very quickly, Lehlogonolo Losema, 31 of 24. Betty McCarthy, 29 of 23. Not bad results.
I think Lehlogonolo Losema and Nkinga Yakubuti, they are comparing him to last season's results. This time of the year, Golden Arrows was in 4th position. And right now, they've conceded 10 more goals to what they conceded last season. So, comparing ama stats work. If Abafana Western about thinking coach and a presence even more and a confidence even more, you listen to Coach CM and says, I don't know. We'll try and see how we go the next one. So those best way charismatic coach Benny. Hey, yeah.
I need to take a break. I know you've got a point to make.
It's the first time I see a coach of the season fired during the season. He was the draw king this season with 14 draws, Benny McCarthy. Coach of the season,
we're going to take a break. When we come back on the other side, Pumuzo's got a lot to say, of course, about the CAF Champions League. We did the game together with Hlompo Kekana, and we spoke about Sundowns. And, of course, a lot of Pirates say about Halalisa, but we VAR in on the VAR.
Greatest Dancer Studio.
Dancers from all over the country, of any age or dance style, are getting ready for the biggest audition of their lives. And it starts here, in the Greatest Dancer Studios.
They say you are what you consume, and too much of anything can be deadly.
The GP actually just diagnosed me wrong for all the years. You should have known that you should have checked my kidneys.
Heart failure, diabetes, hypertension and stress.
So waiting will not be a good idea. That's why we're going to do the surgery this week, because he's essentially a bit of a time bomb.
We uncover the killers in our midst, Sundays at 2:30. She's a crime writer.
Okay, but the old man must be killed tonight.
Yeah, well, the price has gone up. 25 grand cash.
And murder follows.
Except I'm talking about a plot to kill someone. I just heard it on the phone.
Wherever she goes.
Are you a reporter?
Crime is my beat. Murder my specialty.
She thinks there's going to be a murder here in Cabot Cove.
Cabin fever. Had to happen.
She writes about it.
His gun was used to kill Mr. Talmadge.
It's very incriminating.
And she solves it. But now, nosy Jessica finds herself in danger.
Is that your solution? To kill me?
Murder, She Wrote, Monday to Friday at 2.
Mamelodi Sundowns' hopes of ending their quarter-final jinx in the CAF Champions League, they were dashed on Saturday when they exited the tournament following a 3-2 defeat on aggregate to Angolan side Petro de Luanda at FNB Stadium. Emva kokuthi seyisebenzile i-VAR, uThemba Mshishizwane wadlala ngethuba ngeshwa ke ipenalty yakhe yashaya ipali. But the Brazilians finally made the breakthrough in the second half, and this time it was the Kenyan international defender Brian Mandela Onyango who scored from a goal-mouthed scramble to make it 1-0. Unfortunately for Sundowns, a few minutes after VAR had denied the visitors the equalizer, it did grant them a penalty after a long wait, and it was the Brazilian striker Thiago Azulu who netted from the penalty spot, and this was his 7th goal of the tournament. Ibaga Juju now remain the only hope from Mzansi in the CAF inter-club competitions following a hard-fought 4-3 victory on penalties over a 10-man Simba Sports Club from Tanzania. Ibaga Juju lithole igol lokuvula lo mdlalo through uKwame Pepra in the 60th minute to make it 1-1 on aggregates. Emva kwalokho, the game went all the way to the penalty shootout, and this is where Ghanaian international goalkeeper Richard Ofori showed his class both with his hands and his feet. Bucks will now meet Libyan side Al Ali Tripoli in the last 4 next month.
I'm not sure that's the dance of a man who scored that penalty. Ow! Petro Rwanda will then move on to take on Wydad Casablanca. Al-Ahly take on ES Tif. They will be following closely, of course, because Peter Musimane, you find him right there in the thick of things. Orlando Pirates as well in the Confederation Cup. We'll be taking a look at that page pretty soon, maybe towards the end there. There it is. Al-Ahly Tripoli in Orlando Pirates. It's going to be a tough one, that away match there. TP Mazembe take on RS Berkane. Are we going to see a Pirates Mazembe final? Would be nice. What have you got to say about CAF football? Asikasibone ukuthi masamba sibuza la kunini ukuthi nanicabangani ngeCAF abaningi beni bakhuluma ngeVAR kodwa abaningi bayahalalisela indlu emnyama.
Ziyalwa lezi Pirates mfethu yazi ngithanda ispirit sabo bona ama die hard bayalwa nafanda akubonile njengoba badlala bayile baphusha bayiwina. It's unfortunate ukuthi abazange babanika ama penalty ayi2 and seyazi ukuthi le kwenzakaleni.
I'm so happy game ibe Pirates. Yes, Pirates masekhaya I lose.
Sundowns idlalile Joe, but the team, I think they made their homework because they were very compact. So that's why Sundowns couldn't really penetrate. And Nabali very tactical. Nekitelo wana team elengore, it's not really known how that Sundowns, because it's been beating other teams. But this one, no, I think they did their homework and hard luck to Sundowns.
In football, if you don't capitalize on opportunities that you are given, you will never make it.
Look out for our cameras wherever you might be when you see us come here. You must know it's all about football. Now let's talk about the Confederation Cup. They played a team, Orlando Pirates, in Simba that came here for a draw, that came here to just defend their goal. Clearly.
Intellectual prowess from Orlando Pirates because they used that aggression, how they were treated there, all of it, they put it together to say, let it motivate us, keep the fire burning inside of us so that they go and fight for everything. Tactically, they came back with a better team, and also Ama tactics were to say, how are we going to overcome that defense that drops? So they built up from the back to say, let's draw them in. Even though Isimba said, we're going to sit back, they forced them to come hunting because Nabubane pride, win, you understand? And it's for the first time I actually saw Lodge being able to just play those long balls in there. Usually you find him getting into the final third, into the box, because he wants to be at the end of that shot. He wants to be at the end of that, you know. And him doing that, it actually said to Ahmad defender with Pirates, they are able to build up from the back, win the ball. When they win the ball, look at the players that are around there. They are not winning the ball to clear it. And that's why that red card comes in. That foul comes in there.
And that red card, Pumuzo, was the key to unlocking the Simba. Because shortly after that...
I think when you're looking at the moment, it's a clear red card because it's malicious, excessive force used, no intent to play the ball, starts showing, he's lunging in. All of those factors say it's a clear red card. Now the key is the incident happens in the 55th minute.
Yeah.
The game is restarted in the 59th minute. So there's 4 minutes where no activity is happening, whilst the players are encouraging the ref to go check. The ref goes and checks, he comes back, and when he comes back, he says, it's a clear red card. Now, it's two things. Orlando Pirates are focused, then Simba go to sleep. They lose a player, and when they restart play, that is Orlando Pirates, they restart play with Nda with a long ball. You can see that Dion Otto wins the header. That flick by Uloch, but when the ball goes back to Mayela, educated left foot. He does not need to go to the bar line to be able to bring in the cross. A delightful cross. Pepra missed the ball in the highest point, puts the ball in the back of the net. He gets his 7th goal of the season. I thought great positioning from him and a good finish.
And also Mayela picking that cross. It's a pinpointed cross that is an in-swinger. You know, and that in-swinger says the goalkeeper, it's an out-swinger. That says to the goalkeeper, you can't catch it because it's not coming to me. So I think Upepra, he did really well. That cross, he passed, and I see cross for the sake of it. Umayela, le educated left foot, I think in a degree. Ishai cross and the finish was superb.
Pumuzo's favorite player from this past weekend has to be Ofori. And of course, he played a huge role in Orlando Pirates getting to where they got. And one of it was because of this.
Yeah, it's always important how you start. And in this instance, you can see Ofori gives them a positive start. He makes a great save to send the message to say, Mamela, I'm making the great save. But what I love about what he did here, there's a player in the Orlando Pirates team that chickened out. to go take the penalty because there was uncertainty.
Because it's the fifth penalty.
Then Ofori is pointing to the bench saying, me. Then the players in the halfway line are saying, yes, where? What I love is, wow. No. He's ambushed into taking that last penalty. Yeah. But for him to be able to keep his composure, he's a goalkeeper, his calmness, and still slot it nicely with no power.
Yes, player.
Normally, and that's why
I said the penalty song.
VAR is the biggest thing in South African football right now. So there was huge moments in both the Pirates game and the Sundowns game. But let's take a look at this moment in particular, because Pirates thought they deserved a penalty here. Talk me through it.
Yeah, Andile, this was a talking point. Firstly, I want us to look at the referee, his position at the moment this incident occurred. If you look at now in this incident, incident is that the player Pirates is blocking his view. Then I want us also to check.
So what you're saying is the referee cannot perhaps see Ukapembe touch the ball with his hand because Uhoto's in his way.
Uhoto is in his way, so the chance for him now missing that incident, if he moved just to his left, he could have seen the incident. Okay. Then I want us now to look at the incident, whether it was a handball or not. You can see now Uhoto heading the ball, moving towards the player. We are born ukuthi isandla sakhe siphumile sike extended position, touching the ball. Clearly, offense, then that's a handball. Sompempe, though angakwazanga kwenza decision, should have asked now VAR ukuthi guys assist apa anbonanga ukuthi kwenza kanina, but he didn't take that advice or make use of on-field review to check the incident.
So VAR goes and reviews it?
Yes.
But they don't come back to say, go look for yourself?
Yes. And that's something that they should have done. On-field review, he could have come with a different decision.
Why did on-field review not see that as a penalty? What could be the reasons?
It was not obviously a clear decision, but that's where now I feel the VAR could have asked the referee to make the final decision.
A failure of VAR and the VAR
team.
They failed. Indeed. Well, that's as far as this moment is concerned. There is still another moment, of course, that we're still going to be talking about, and that moment is in the Sundowns team. Let's get into Sundowns now. As I walk back to coach, but nonetheless, here we are. Pumuzo, talk to me. Sundowns, they changed their team here.
You're looking at 4 changes that were made by Mamelodi Sundowns. Yeah. Then you're asking yourself questions to say, why are they making those changes? You're looking at Elibusa, that drops off to the bench. Yeah. In comes Rashin Deriek. Rashin Deriek is a Bafana international. He's one of the best defenders in the PSL. He once, 2 seasons ago, he won Defender of the Season. So that's why he comes into this team. But also what they do is in the wing position, they bring in Oralane. He's one of those players that were brought into this game. Ralani gets to start the game, and those are some of the changes that Mamelodi Sundowns had made. Maema comes into this starting 11 also to be one of the starters. So those were a couple of changes that were made by Mamelodi Sundowns.
Pumuzo, when they brought on these changes, and we'll go back to that again. Here they set the trap to say build up, it's okay. As soon as the centre back gets the ball, look at the change in gears there from Umshishi. He says play it wide, and this guy decides to play it inside. You can't do that. So for Umshishi, he did well to say he blocked the inside pass so that he can win it. Unfortunately for Shalulile there, I think he should have went to his left. Just shoot with your left, because cutting in, the defender recovers, then the angle is obscured.
But when you speak about pressing traps, that's where you need to put a trap on a certain player. In that moment, they saw that Kinto was not comfortable on his feet. That's why the pressing trap was on him. Tembazwane starts the pressing, but Shalulile should have done better in that moment. When you come to this moment, a delightful ball that is played in by Umabue. But look at the positioning of Tembazwane. We always say Tembazwane Zwane is the master of half spaces. He's the master of playing in the pockets. You can see Shalulile stands his ground. And when Shalulile stands his ground, he gives the opportunity for Themba Zwane to then attack that near post. You're talking about a Themba Zwane that goes on in this game to miss a penalty. But this is a Themba Zwane that has scored 10 goals for Mamelodi Sundowns in all competition, 7 assists. This is the man that even won the penalty himself. He's that Skellem key for Mamelodi Sundowns. And I felt that he had a good game. He was very unlucky in taking that penalty. But I still am of the opinion that he did not want to take that penalty.
We've seen best players missing penalties in critical and crucial matches. And unfortunate for him, that penalty, actually the first goal from Mushalulile opportunity could have been a starter for them. And that penalty also miss could have been another booster for them because they had done their homework to say, let's deny Petro space on the wings because that's how they were punishing us. And look at this. Uzwane says, okay, there's something beautiful that Mamelodi Sundowns is doing here. They are still in the vicinity of the ball, inside the box. Press as hard as you can because who knows, you can get the ball, shoot and score. In this case, they are profited by a penalty that will come moments after this. Look at the pressure that Mamelodi Sundowns is still putting on Petro to say they don't want them to clear the ball away with height and distance, Pomozo.
When there's a foul, the ref has to go and check on the players. Now look at Themba Zwane when the ref is going to check on him. He tells the ref, I'm injured. It means I was fouled. Go check. And this is the moment. Keep your eye on Themba Zwane. He says to the ref, hey, hambo yo pega, Svali. Hambo yo pega. That is Themba Zwane. And the referee says, sharp, sharp, saying sharp, sharp to the ref.
Playing with not just your feet, with your head as well.
No, a smart player, Themba Zwane. Then the ref goes to check. And one thing that the ref is looking for here is Themba Zwane in control of the ball? The answer is yes. Does Kinto get the ball? The answer is no. Does Kinto get Themba Zwane? The answer is yes. Therefore, he says, I've seen it and I've seen enough. It's a penalty. Kinto didn't play the ball. Themba was in control of the ball and he was fouled.
Now, here is the part that will boggle your mind here. Lyle Kay is the man that goes and takes it and says, I want this penalty. Themba Zwane seems very sheepish about taking the penalty. You know, we're not privy to what is happening there, but you see Shaluli and Andile going on to him as well. Lyle Kay there is the man that seems to want to take the penalty. Themba Zwane eventually steps up.
He steps up and uyambona ebusweni ngathi uyakhulumisa naye ukuthi engizoyenza njani la ubheki impintshi yakhe yazizovela khona manje ithi intwana yazini shaya le penalty. You see he's nodding, he's checking on the side. Umhlekazi lapha ngicabanga ukuthi uthi antwana ithathe ishaye kahle and he did everything right. It was just unfortunate ukuthi he was just not able to hit the target. And the target lapana ishayile upright instead of the net because the goalkeeper was not going to save that ball. Look at that. He's thinking, he's breathing, takes his time. His run-up is perfect and he gets there. You see, Andile, also if I could just dissect that penalty a bit, he's not twisting completely. It's his foot that goes there to say, let's curl it away. And in him curling it away, it is bound to go there because which part of the foot is he using there? You know, and technically, if I just break it down also for Umshish is the one that plays a much short pass there. You hardly see him playing long balls and all of that. Unfortunate for Yena Guti. He had such a brilliant game, but the penalty just, you know,
Coach,
threw him off.
I'm looking at a Themba Zwane that has been consistent for Mamelodi Sundowns. In the past 4 seasons, he has managed to get over 10 in terms of goals and assists put together. He is very consistent and unlucky boy. Keep your head up. South Africa still loves you, boy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I need to make another walk now. I need a treadmill here. It's, of course, the referee who's going to take a look at that Sundowns game there as you take a look at the CAF Champions League semi-finals. But we need to look at the Sundowns game simply because of the penalty that Andile Jali gives away in this match. Was it a penalty? Were they within their rights to give it as far as the referee is concerned? Take a look.
Ngicela siyijonge le incident ukuthi kwenzekani. iPetro is on attack la. Striker moving towards the penalty area, approaching the penalty area. I want us just to keep our eyes on the referee. We'll talk about the incident, but if you look at the referee's signal, he is showing that the player took a dive. He took a dive. So, and after that, what he does, he points to for goal kick, which means that he didn't see a foul there. Then VAR recommends to him, calls him, said, hey man, you need to look at the incident. And so he goes and check. And if you look again at the incident, Andile mistimed his challenge. and definitely fouled the player. And you can see the referee coming back. Let's see what his decision will be now after coming back from the on-field review.
Changes.
And definitely, he changes his decision. He gives a penalty.
Rightfully so?
Rightfully so. A correct decision. I support the decision. It was a correct one.
Oh, we'll pull it further. Zababonke, South Africa supporter is Sundowns. We're going to take a very quick break. When we come back on the other side, of course, it's all about the MVP. We'll be back in just a bit.
I was 9 years old, making classing, and a fellow learner of mine said to me that, you know, you're so burnt, you look like a franchise meat.
Due to this, I became a different person. I second-guessed myself, started doubting my ability.
Trust me, it's not a good experience. I felt angry. I felt like I needed to vent.
To start talking about it makes me to be strong also.
The first person you hate is not the person who's bullying you, it's yourself.
Faces. How I survived being bullied.
The lights come on and flash.
What they need most of all, Jenny, is some luck.
And action got underway, but look at this card. It's a very different and challenging role.
Oh, Taylor's rolled!
Series, the world's first female-only racing series.
This time, it supports the global circus of Formula One.
And we go green, very good start. Sainz goes to the inside too. It's a historic day for Porsche as they take their first Formula E win.
Tuesday on 2.
So you won't commit to this marriage, and neither will you.
Marriage counseling with an edge.
Come clean with your wife so you can go forward. You don't fight for your wife at all.
I'm John Taffer. For the last 35 years, I've been rescuing bars. Now, after decades of rescuing businesses and changing people's lives, I'm primed and prepped to tackle my next great challenge. Rescuing marriages. I've invited couples who've tried conventional marriage therapy and failed to a 5-star resort in Puerto Rico. But this is not a vacation.
She thinks less of you today than the day she married you. You're a liar!
Don't play that game with me! Don't play that game with me!
I don't know if I can do this.
This is Marriage Rescue.
One last chance. It's make or break. Marriage Rescue, Tuesday morning at 9 on 2.
Are you a legend in the baking? Keen to make lasting memories? Then enter the new season of the Tastemaster SA, starting soon on SABC2. Our overall winner will take home 50,000 Rand cash. Plus, contestants can win 50,000 Rands worth of kitchen appliances. To enter, visit thetastemaster.co.za, share a video about yourself and why you love baking, and show us something wonderful you've baked. Entries close Saturday, 30th April. T's and C's apply.
Now, sitting at home, you know which now we all have those nights where the game is on, and in a few, and a pot or a pan is the last thing on your mind. Well, Demotion Pizza says, Kululega. There's no shame in letting the past rest tonight. Rather, they're on the double Debonair's Pizza's exclusive delivery deal. That's 2 large pizzas from a choice of 6 flavors for just 159 Rands and 90 cents. Debonair's Pizza. Try something amazing. Speaking of amazing, it was an amazing weekend of Hollywood Bets football.
The opening weekend of the 2022 Hollywood Bets Super League season produced a total of 30 goals in 7 games that took place, and First Touch Academy were amongst the biggest contributors when they thrashed Tsunami Queens by 5 goals to 0. Ikolokvula le first touches in. Now you captain fantastic Nokolo Trina from the penalty spot. They were back again on the score sheet to double the lead 10 minutes later as Pushamputi added her name on the goal scorers list. But in Jeberia Ekefini, first touch at Tola Elistatu Igoli through Ulebuhang Mamamulo. Nayo Paliselake Igama Epotini. Now one of the live wires in this first touch team from last season, Jeanette Fisher, once again was back to remind opponents Ogutu Sababa and Jengo Pele Pele as she converted from the penalty spot. And the last and final goal came from Linky Twala 15 minutes from full time. Ew, ipaso Bitsunami Queens pelagne relegation this season. It was not as emphatic as the last game of the season where the defending champion Sundowns scored 7 unanswered goals as they opened the new season with a narrow 2-1 victory over my Indies in Guyane. Efika nje umntwana waseKapa lodume uMishay Miners ezibuyela kwiVasco da Gama washaya igoli lakhe lokuqala in the Hollywood Bets Super League. The Brazilians extended that lead from the penalty spot and it was Boitumelo Rabale who ensured the 2-goal cushion. Just 3 minutes before the half-time break, Valeria Packery pulled one back for the hosts, but the experience of Sundowns saw them grinding out the 3 points in the second half.
It was literally Sundowns grilling out results. Unfamiliar, because you'd have thought that the GVW 10 was them.
Yeah, it was them. Unyandeni, top goal scorer last season, continued with a hat-trick with Salgado. And 30 goals scored in 7 games. So the women's game is back, and we are happy about that because the teams are even looking sharper. You know, Gulea Log, Leana Pumuzo, hey, Ziabuya already. Do we say Ziabuya already?
Zibuya cool.
After one game.
Zibuya cool. But one thing that I love is TUT scoring 10 goals for me. The top goal scorer from last season, Puminyandeni, hat-trick, JVW, and also looking at EJVW. You also have Salgado, Banyana International, also scoring 3.
I mean, it's a huge one for us this weekend. There's games on Wednesday and Saturday, but when you go to Sunday, it's a triple header, and all 3 games are going to be live on SABC Sport.
People must just tune in because the women's game is getting better and better. Quality football that we are seeing there, and more players that are unearthed. Vasco da Gama is a new team. City Leads is a new team that got promoted.
Women football, Banyana has been doing well. Mare, obviously, we haven't been investing enough. So what Hollywood is doing, I think it's a great idea. It will improve a little.
I think lento le wela ku whatever le uposha mdisebeka ilwela. Ukuthi sharp it is like us labo cherry asilthathi serious the mele silthathe serious ngakhona. So iHollywood yenza ivula eminye iminyango for abo girl.
Hollywood, I'm so happy the way yenza ngakhona, especially like us. It's a
good initiative, especially for Abocheri versus South Africa. Obviously, it's a sport for them as much as good sports for Ama out. Voila.
Kimmich with 10 assists on the corner. In goes a set piece. The header down here for Gnabry! With a sensational hit. And the game's first chance taken by Serge Gnabry in devastating, blistering and spectacular fashion. Here's Thomas Müller, and now Bandido 2 goals clear. And Dortmund's arch nemesis again, their former player, Robert Lewandowski. Who else to double their lead? Forced away here by Hernandez. Oh, the challenge and a penalty surely. Yes, Marco Reus has been brought down. Is this the launch pad of the fight back? It may well be. Back on the board. Oh, Musiala, lovely feet. Hits with the initial save and then helped out by his defender Guerrero too. Ball not clear just yet. And that'll do it. That'll finish it. Jamal Musiala, 3-1 for Bayern.
And you know, why are you showing us Bundesliga reviews? Why are you showing us those games? Because we show them live right here on SABC Sport every single weekend. You can catch Bundesliga games live And of course, we also do play you some late games as well on SABC3 as well as SABC Sport. These are your results from this weekend. When we come back on the other side, the Mumish is still awaiting. But again, here's the log of what it looks like in the Bundesliga. Firth not moving from bottom. You've got Berlin, the Hertha Berlin, a team many might know, Stuttgart as well, which is misplaced where they are. They're going to try and survive so they're able to build better. Bayern Munich have won it. It's all over. Dortmund, the game they were playing, 63.75. They can't catch up.
Lewandowski is on 33 goals and he has got 7 games to play. Will he get to 40? That's the big question.
Hey, Lewandowski. Take a look at the fixtures. That one there on SABC3. Dortmund taking on Bochum 1848. I mean, it's all done and dusted now. They're just playing now for Champions League positions as far as the top is concerned and for survival as far as the bottom is concerned. Catch Caesar as he brings you those matches. Now MVP. Hey, Nyamvotelu for 75. Kulmelu Rabale lapho first.
Yeah, I'm a Sundown because she's really doing well. The Lesotho International. Aye, she's good. She's good. She's got a brilliant left foot.
Lights out, W Series is underway. Oh, that's been hit! Jamie Chadwick's been hit! Oh, look at this! There's a change in the lead! And there's the move.
Head down and get up to the car in front.
Brilliant victory in the wet for Emma Kimmerleinen. Alice Powell gets through to give her the championship lead. Jamie Chadwick retains her crown in some style. This is W Series.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And no one understands this better than our very own African champ that enters the football pitch. The champion. The one that celebrates in victory with pride and also loses with honor. The one that never surrenders and never backs down. The entertainers, the crowd pleasers, the counter-attackers, and the shot stoppers. It's the magnificence of our champions, handmade and crafted on our beautiful African soil.
Gets the ball into the back of the net, they take the
Witness the triumph of the 2021-2022 Total Energies CAF Champions League and CAF Confederations Cup. Live on SABC Sport channels, SABC TV channels, and SABC radio stations in your language of choice. This season, we are #Crowning Champions, and we love it here. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
I don't want anything from you, just shelter for the night. You'll have noticed it's dangerous outside.
We shouldn't be taken in strays. You can't keep us in here forever.
Is that a fact?
You're gonna wish you'd never done this. Only by then, it'll be too late.
The Tribe. Monday and Tuesday, 4:30, SABC2.
Well, you've voted and you've spoken. Our favorite part of the show here is everything that you are involved in when we bring our cameras to you. When you choose your own MVP, I thought Mapimo Sonda should have been 2 goals to bring Swallows back from the death, but it wasn't to be. The MVP, that man there, Ofori.
Obasiz ukuthi baqhubeke ngerun yabo into the CAF Confederations Cup, so brilliant.
You can see him, a crucial penalty, pressure moment. He takes the pressure, he's calm. You can see the experience of playing for his national team, Ghana. He comes back to that Orlando Pirates team, and you can see the celebration. What I also loved was Upaseka Marco was in the change room of Orlando Pirates after the game. Yeah. Richard Ofori says, Hardy boy, I might have injured you, but beg, I go semi-final match.
Let's go to the Demotion. The referee is moving in as we watch it together. He was dancing. Maybe this is the song he was dancing to.
Push. Kijima. You say parts, baba. That's right. Push away. Ay, why you went so? Ay, why you went so? Why went so? You win. Why you went so? At the shower, boy. Ooh, abakushana, mgani.
It's all up, Lingoma, man. Hey, Never Cup. It's this weekend, of course, on Friday, SABC 1 at 9 o'clock, Chakuma versus Marumo Gallatin on Saturday in the evening. Yeah? So this, of course, on SABC 1, it's a Sundowns. From my team and I, on Soccerzone, has been an absolutely lovely one. Itini, push, pela, and so me.
Hello and welcome to the Match Extra as we prepare for the most significant Merseyside derby in many a year.